All right, in today's lesson, we're going to review what we've learned this year about inequalities. So at the title or at the top of your page and in your table of contents, right, the title for today is Inequalities Review. And like before, you don't have to copy the notes since you should already have this in your notes, but I do want you to work the examples with me in your notes. That's what I'll be checking. And please do not try and flip around, skip ahead. You might miss something. I want you to make sure you have a complete review of every single thing that you need to know according to the standards for SC Ready. All right, so first, inequalities. What is an inequality? You should already have this in your notes. It is a mathematical sentence that uses less than, greater than, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to, and it compares the value of two expressions. The solution to an inequality, also called the solution set, is any value of the variable that makes the inequality true. So we're going to have more than one number here that's in our solution set. It's how it's different than an equation. We don't just get x equals 5. It might be x is less than 5. And we use a number line to represent the solution set. We'll review how to do that in a minute. All right. So we use the same process with solving inequalities that we do for solving equations. We take care of addition and subtraction first, take care of multiplication and division last. But you should remember, and you may want to jot this down just to refresh your memory since it's been probably a few months at this point since we've talked about this. If you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to flip the inequality sign. What does flip the inequality sign mean? It means if we had like a less than symbol, we flip it, greater than. If we had greater than or equal to, when we multiply or divide by a negative, we flip it, it's now less than or equal to. Okay? So we flip that inequality sign only when we multiply or divide by a negative number on both sides when we're solving that inequality. Okay? Review of graphing an inequality. This also should be in your notes. You may want to jot it down if you've forgotten or can't find your notes because you need a little reference page for what to do. When we have less than or equal to and greater than or equal to, you put a closed circle on the number line. That means a circle that's been colored in all the way because that solution set includes that number. So it's less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. For less than and greater than, we put an open circle on the number line. So that's the first thing we have to do is open or close circle. Then we have to figure out which way is the arrow pointing. If it's greater than or greater than or equal to, the arrow is going to point to the right because it's bigger than that. If it's less than or less than or equal to, we're going to do an arrow pointing to the left because it's less than that. And remember, all of these little tricks only work if we have the variable on the left. So you want to have the variable on the left side. So let's try solving and graphing a couple just to refresh your memory. That one's too easy. So is that one. Here, we'll start with the two-step inequality. 5x plus 6 is less than 16. I want you to hit pause. This is just a two-step inequality. Solve it and then graph it on the number line. Press play when you're ready to check your answer. All right, so when you worked it out, you should have gotten x is less than 2 as your solution. Why did I not flip my inequality sign to write my answer? Did I multiply or divide by a negative number? No, that's why it stays the same. X is less than 2, open circle on 2, arrow points to the right. Let's quickly review the properties that we use for solving inequalities. Remember, they're very similar to the solving equations properties. We're just going to say inequality instead of equality. So the first thing I did was subtract 6 on both sides. That's the same as adding a negative 6. We would call that the addition property of inequality. Okay. We would use that additive inverse property to cancel. And then we would use the additive identity to get rid of the 0. Then down here, we divide by positive 5. So that would be the multiplication property of inequality for multiplication by a positive number. that is a very long property. The multiplication property of inequality for multiplication by a positive number. Now, if we had multiplied by a negative number, we would say inequality for multiplication by a negative number. Okay, try this one. Hit pause, work it out, graph it, and then hit play to check your answer. So first, you should have subtracted 7. Signs are the same here, so we add and get negative 35. Then we have to divide by negative 7. This should set off a little alarm in your head. We're dividing by a negative, dividing by a negative. What do we have to do? Flip that inequality sign. So we get x is greater than 5. Close circle on 5, arrow points to the right. All right, we reviewed what to do with fractions yesterday, but let's just refresh our memory one more time. When we have a fraction, we do not freak out. We just remember that that means division. So first I subtract 8 on both sides. I bring down x over 3. Those cancel. Greater than or equal to 4. And then x over 3, that is x divided by 3. So the opposite of dividing by 3 is multiplying by 3. And we're done. X is greater than or equal to 12. I would put a closed circle on 12, arrow points to the right. 13, 14, 11, 10. And we're done. Isn't this fun, you guys? Haven't you missed inequalities? Me too. All right, last one. We're going to practice distributing, and then you can get started on digits. So remember, with distributing, we're adding in one extra step. We have to multiply by that negative 5 first. So we would get negative 15n minus 30 is greater than or equal to 30. I would add 30 on both sides next, just like a two-step inequality. Next, I divide by negative 15. And y'all, since I'm dividing by negative 15, what do I have to do? Flip the inequality sign. We may remember on that test that we took on this, that was one thing that some of us got kind of mixed up on. We forgot to flip the inequality sign there. So negative 4, negative 3, remember our negative side of the number line goes in reverse. I'm going to put a closed circle on negative 4, and the arrow points to the left. And there you have it. So we know how to solve and graph when we have an inequality or we have to distribute. All right, and I don't want you to do all those IXLs. I'm taking that off. Just the digits. We already did the IXLs. All right, digits assignment on inequalities is ready to go for you. Let me know if you need help.